let's see. It came from OBX Racing, and it's performance engine parts. That's all it's on it. It's a super light T6061 T6 aircraft grade billet aluminum CNC machine with precision balancing. Anywhere from 5 to 15 horsepower gain can be achieved on normal engines, dyno tested, proven on racetrack, and consistent horsepower gain at all speed levels. Now, the reason I'm putting this on the car is because it is 25% smaller than the original harmonic balancer. Another reason why I'm putting it on, the original clutch that was on the other side weighed a total of like 32 pounds. That over there is half that weight. So maybe I'm even further than that. I think the flywheel was 28 plus the disc and the pressure plate. So whatever that may be, 35, 36 pounds. That flywheel over there, I believe, is 8 pounds plus the weight of the pressure plate and the disc. So I'm going to say conservatively we're at 14 pounds. So we're at least half of the weight. Now, when you take an engine that was designed to run a 35-pound rotating mass on the end of it, you know, the whole unit itself is balanced for that. So when you take that off, you're taking a considerable amount of weight off of the one end of the engine, and the other end of the engine, which is here, still has the original mass. So one reason for doing it is I lightened up one end, so we needed to take off the 8-pound harmonic balancer and put on something that's a whole lot lighter. So hopefully this will help, and the balance of the engine won't be thrown off too bad. Now I understand that you balance a crank, and most cranks come pretty well balanced from the factory. Now I don't really know as far as the balance of a crank with the flywheel. You know, if you're building an engine from the beginning to the end, you can take it and get it balanced, you know, with or for the flywheel that you're using. So in this case, I just thought of it as a logistical standpoint. If you lighten up one end and the other end's heavy, it won't be even. So now if you lighten up both ends, who knows? But that's my mindset there. The second part of this was the alternator and the power steering pump. Now, on our previous race car, the power steering pump, it screamed. You know, it just, you knew that it wasn't going to last long, but it seemed to never die, but it didn't like the life it was living. The reason being, the cars are designed to run between 1900 and 3000 RPM. So if you're cruising down the road at 65 miles an hour, you're probably cruising around 25 to 28, 2900 RPM. So the alternator and the power steering pump are designed to run at that RPM, you know, and be optimal. So if you take this engine that was designed to run at 2500 RPM and you run it at 5500, 6000, 6500, or even 7000 RPM, all of your other components, your alternator and your power steering pump and your idler and all that is spinning considerably faster than it was designed to do. So what's going to happen is it's going to fail prematurely. So with a harmonic balancer or whatever you would call crankshaft pulley that is 25% smaller, it will thus rotate the power steering pump and the alternator 25% slower. So if your RPMs are normally 3000, 25% of that is, I guess, right, 750 RPM. So you're taking 750 RPM off of the rotating parts that are on the front of the engine. So now you've got basically a low gear. So you're spinning it all the same. It's just your engine has to spin faster to spin the alternator and the power steering pump as what it was at 3000 RPM. You don't need that. I mean, we're racing, so we're wide open the whole damn time. So that in turn is what gives you your horsepower. It's not the light weight of the pulley giving you the horsepower. It's that the pulley itself is smaller, thus it's geared down, and it doesn't have to take so much energy from the engine to rotate the mass. It's like taking a big gear and a small gear, and then take your small gear and bump it up to a larger size. It's going to rotate the large gear faster, but it's going to take more power to rotate that. So the smaller you go, the better the gearing is, but it just won't spin as fast. So that's what we have going on here. Let's see. I don't know what size that is. I'm gonna say that that's a 19 because I have a 20 and a 17 and it's neither one of those. Excuse my crude mess. Dun, dun, dun. I don't even see a 19 in there. It must be out. Cool. Now I know a lot of people watching this video are like, oh yeah, I already know all that. Well, that's fine. If you know everything that I talk about, that's great. I'm making these videos for the people that don't know. Even if you know, you might know 95% about everything that I talk about, but that 5% that I say or something that I do, oh, look how he did that. That's all I want. I want to try to pass my knowledge on to anybody and everybody that it could help. So, it might look simple. That's because it is. See y'all later.